What is up, everybody? It is the Market Genius. Of course, you already knew who it is or who it was or who I am because you clicked on this video. And today we got a very important topic that we need to talk about, because as we are getting ready to enter this spring real estate season, I think we got a couple of problems. We got some real big problems. And if you've been looking for a house, you probably are noticing the same thing. And I'm just gonna be upfront with it. These prices are just way too high. As a realtor, I am literally running out of people that can afford homes at today's prices. Maybe you've seen the same thing if you've been looking through Zillow or Realtor.com or any of these websites, and you're like, this monthly payment seems a little bit high, at least more than I can pay. So let's talk about that today in today's video, because if you are somebody that's sitting on the sidelines and you want to buy a house, or you're somebody that's thinking about selling a house, this is something that we got to talk about. And everybody has been saying that the mortgage interest rates need to come down, but what I think is it's really the prices. And if you own a house, I'm pretty sure you don't want the prices to come down. And if you're trying to buy a house, and you probably want the prices to come down. But let's see today, how far does your money stretch based on today's rates, today's markets, and then you can decide what you think will happen when it comes to real estate. Coming right up. But Genius Crew, you know what time it is. Drop the track. All right, so in order for you to get a real good grasp about what's going on in today's market, for those of you who don't know, I am a realtor here in the state of Atlanta. Yes, I said state of Atlanta because Atlanta is different from Georgia. If you know, you know. All right, so we're going to talk about the data, where we're at, the numbers, and what's going on before we talk about what you actually could afford or can't afford in a lot of places, or a lot of situations, should I say, here in Metro Atlanta. So let's jump on into the MLS and see what the numbers are. I think that the year-over-year numbers are what I always track because it includes seasonality. So we're looking at February. For those of you who are going to get in the comments and state the obvious that we are in the month of March, yes, I know what month we are in, but we don't have the numbers from March yet because March ain't finished, okay? So we're in February looking at these numbers, and where we're looking at February 2025 compared to February 2024, there are some really, really key differences. One of the main things that you will probably notice, or I don't know, it's probably teeny tiny print on your screen, but the amount of homes sold in February of this year compared to last year is down almost 10%. Now, I've been selling real estate here for almost 8 years, and I can tell you that even 5,000 homes sold here in Metro Atlanta is a super low number. We're almost at a record low number in the amount of homes being sold. And you guessed it, the reason why that number is so low is because people ain't buying. It's not because of inventory, because if you look on the screen here as well, you will see that we have almost 7,000 more homes available this year compared to last year, represented by a 45% increase in the amount of inventory. And for those of you who like to keep up with like, well, how many months is that, right? Here it is on your screen as well, Mr. or Mrs. Statistician, 3.71 months. Now they say that a buyer's market is like 4 to 6 months. It depends on who you really ask, but I'm telling you right now, I got boots on the ground, and we're pretty much almost in the buyer's market right now here in Metro Atlanta. And so those numbers give you a really quick background on what buyers and sellers are facing. If you're selling a house, you have a lot more inventory or a lot more competition. Like I have a client who's looking at making an offer. We're probably going to end up making an offer today. And in that same subdivision, there are, I think, like 6 houses available for sale, or at least 4, right? And all of them are available. So we're going to be offering on, I don't know, probably 3 of them and just see who gives us the best deal. But if you're selling a house, you've got more competition. Homes are taking longer to sell, all right? But the one thing that has not changed is the prices that these homes are selling for. Well, median home price has gone down 1%. This year it's $381 for Metro Atlanta. Last year was $385, but the average sales price is still going up 2%. The average sales price, if you can believe it, is $463,000. Now, let's take a look at what that will cost you on a monthly basis, and you comment below if you can afford that. All right, so we are going to pop over into this mortgage calculator here, and we're gonna calculate. I want you to see firsthand what that $460,000 home looks like in terms of your monthly payment. So for this example, we're going to assume that you have $30,000, which honestly, a lot of people in this economy, they don't have. But let's say you've been doing numbers and you've been making things happen and you got that 30 G's stacked up. All right, cool. Now, today, interest rates, it depends on what lender you go with. I have a lender right now that can go like a 5.7 without any points being purchased down. So we're going to go with the 5.7 interest rate. I'm gonna type that in right there. I'm gonna do a 30-year mortgage. And let's change this from total monthly payment to purchase price, because we're trying to see how much it will cost you to get a house for $460,000. All right, there you go. All right, so for a house that's $460,000, which is the average home here in Metro Atlanta, as you can see, or maybe you can't see because it's grayed out, but your total monthly payment approximately on that home is $3,277 per month. So let me get my phone out, because I don't want to speak for anybody. I don't know if you can or can't do that here, but I just want to talk about that a little bit more, because if you're paying $3,277 a month over the course of a year, that's going to be $39,324. That does not include your subscriptions, Netflix, and all the other great things that you all like to subscribe to. That does not include utilities. That does not include things like, I know it's not related to housing, but car payments. Those of you that have the $600, $700, $800, $900 car payments. And y'all can't see who else is in this room with me, all right? But yeah, all right, those of you who have them type of car payments, that doesn't include that. So you tell me, is this affordable for the average person? Well, let's take a look, because I'm not exactly sure what the average income for Metro Atlanta, or we're just gonna say, I don't want to say Georgia, because we're talking about the state of Atlanta. So let's go into Google and say, what is the average what is the average household income for Metro Atlanta? All right, and according to Google's AI Gemini, we have a median household income in Metro Atlanta of around $78,000. Okay, $78,000 is the median. Middle class ranges from 50 to 148. So let's go right back to our example where we left off at. What can the median household family here in Metro Atlanta afford? So we're back in our little tool here. All right, let's go to annual income. And as you can see, we're just going to stick with the previous example. And it says that in order for you to get the $460,000 home, now this isn't taking into account any monthly debt payments. I have not included any of that. All right. But for a $460,000 home, just with no debt, you need an annual income of $140,000. All right. Now we said that the median income for Metro Atlanta is $78,000. So let's see what that looks like. So we type in $78,000 and let's see what kind of home they can afford. Oh, wow. That takes us all the way down to $266,000. All right. Now the monthly payments will be a lot less as well, $1,820 per month. But there you have it, folks. So the average or the median household cannot afford the median house here in Metro Atlanta. Isn't that interesting? And honestly, you didn't have to be a rocket scientist to figure that out, because I'm sure that if you're watching this channel, you're probably watching a lot of other real estate or finance related channels, and you probably have already come to the conclusion that the average person or the median household cannot afford the median house pretty much anywhere, or at least in any of the large metro cities. But it is one of those things that you have to wonder, how long will housing prices be able to stay at the price that they're at now, which is pretty much the highest that they've ever been in history, but what isn't? But how long will home prices be able to stay at this point if the average person, or should I say the median person, cannot afford the median price homes? Listen, it's pretty simple. One of two things either has to happen. Either interest rates have to go down or people's incomes have to increase. right? And personally, I believe that interest rates should be able to come down because when people increase their incomes, they just get more debt. So if people's incomes go up, like don't expect people to start, being able to afford these houses because your income go up. Then next thing you know, you going from the Kia to the Benz, right? That's just the way that things go. It's called lifestyle creep. If you want to know about it, just Google it, right? But it happens to the best of us. Me, I just rock my Genius Crew stuff and I don't have to worry about that. But the store is coming soon, so you can also get your Genius Crew merchandise and also live, I don't want to say within your means, I want to say above your means, because if you're wearing something like this, listen, use a Genius, and that's smart living. Now, for those of you who like charts, right? Because I like charts. Charts can tell a really good story about what's happening, all right? And I'm not going to go all the way in depth to explain this to you, but some of you might catch on, some of you might not. So you see that blue line? And I know there's two blue lines, not the real squiggly blue line. The real squiggly blue line, that is the 30-year average mortgage rate, all right? That's the squiggly blue line. The line that's smoother, 50-day moving average. The white line, I'm not sure if that's white or that's light green. I can't remember which color I picked, but that line is a 100-day moving average. So for the average person, and I know I said average a lot of times, but for the normal, the regular person who does not invest, I'm going to break this down to you very, very simple. And I think they call it in layman's terms, all right? So if you are layman, this is your term, and I'm finna break it down for you. Check this out. Mortgage interest rates are not going down. They're not going down until that blue line crosses underneath that other line, the whitish, greenish line, right? When it crosses like that, and I'm sorry to have my hands like this, y'all probably think something wrong with me, but I'm fine. I promise you I'm good. Just don't ask my wife. But when those lines actually cross, right, that's when mortgages are going down, right? Here's my proof. Let's go back, see, because the proof is always in the chart. Chart always gonna give you a real good piece of information here. As you see, they crossed up, boom, right there in March of 2022. And me sitting on the side, well, I wouldn't say sitting on the sideline because we owned the house then. That's right when we decided to list our house. Because I'm looking at the charts and I'm like, okay, this is the best time to go ahead and sell. And we sold our house for a lot more than we paid for it. And even to this day, you might be able to get the same price for that house. I don't know. What do you think? You think we can get the same price for that house today? She says yes, all right? So we sold that house for a really good price. But the reason why we sold, looking at the charts, is like, interest rates are going to keep going up, all right? But even at that time, interest rates were only 4%. Like I said, when those lines cross, boom, long-term uptrend, all right? And you see where we are today. 4 when they crossed, 6.7-ish now, okay? And they've had some times where they fluctuate up and down. But if you are waiting to see when mortgage interest rates are coming down, then you need to wait until those lines cross. Now, I don't know what the economy will look like when that happens. I don't know what home prices will look like when that happens. I'm only talking about what mortgage interest rates will do, because the last time that they crossed down was in approximately July of 2019. And they went from 3.75 at their lowest, which we all remember, all the way down to 2.67. And this is the average rate. Don't get in the comments talking about, I got a 2.5. All right, I get it. It's an average, okay? But this is just to show you that there are ways that you can find out exactly when mortgage interest rates will go down. Now, just in case you're wondering how much mortgage interest rates need to actually go down for the median person, income earner, American, Georgian, Atlantan, whatever you want to call it, for the median individual to be able to purchase a median price home, let's check that out. And so right now, like I just showed you, the median prices in Metro Atlanta are $385. So let's see, how far do we have to go down for the median person to be able to afford $385? All right, looks like we are at 4%, still not there. 3.5%, still not there. Ooh, 2.5%, 2%, and 1.5%, folks. So there you have it. Not my opinion. Here are the numbers right in front of you. For the median household earner here in Metro Atlanta making $78,000 per year, or the household making $78,000 per year, we need rates to go down to 1.5%. All right. Now, only you can be the judge on if you actually think that mortgage interest rates are going to go down to 1.5% or home prices are going to have to come down. But this is my advice to you. And we're going to talk for both sides. If you're buying or selling, I got something for you. All right. Now, let's start off with sellers. If you are getting ready to sell your home in this market, no, you do not have to give away your home at a super cheap price to be able to get it to sell. However, whatever price that you start with, it better be the best price. Today's market is not the market where you could go in and think that you can just price cut your way on down to getting a buyer. If you feel like there's a certain number that you would take for your house and it makes sense based on the market, then you should start there. But my real advice, just like if you were my client, I would tell you, if you need to sell your house, I would come in at below fair market value in order to generate some interest, maybe get into a multiple offer situation, which if you watch my last video, I told you that we still have them, and I had one that we unfortunately weren't successful with my client. But you can get in a multiple offer situation if you price the home below market value, and that's going to get your home sold fast. But if you are like a lot of these sellers and you don't understand the numbers and you think that your house is going to be able to sell in an area, let's say, that doesn't have a median household income of $78,000, which is a lot of areas. I'm talking about you south of I-20. If you're in an area like that, then of course, like, you're probably going to have an uphill battle if you try to overprice your home. Now, for the buyers, if you're thinking about buying a home this year, it is my belief that this is going to be a great opportunity to be able to have, let's just say, leverage that buyers haven't had in the last couple of years. You see the numbers and you know that if you are in a position to be able to buy a home, you are one of the few. So use that to your advantage. Negotiate aggressively. I would not be making any offers without asking for at least 2% closing costs, at least 2. You really should be asking for like 4. That way you can use that money to buy down your rate or lower your out-of-pocket costs, and just have the confidence that even if you don't get that house, and let's be honest, like most of you all, when you're buying a house, it's like not the perfect house. It's just, you like it, but it's not the perfect. So if it's not the one, negotiate very aggressively. If you don't get it, continue to wait and find the right property. But I believe that where we are right now with these rates and these prices, we have a mismatch. What's going to happen in the future? Who knows? I never predict. I'm just here to react. And if you want more information about the real estate market that's going to put you ahead in the game, watch this video that's on your screen right now. This is The Market Genius. Like, share, subscribe. We are almost at 2,200 subscribers, and you and I both know we should be way higher than that. So if you haven't subscribed, go ahead, click that subscribe button. Let's get to it, and welcome to the Genius Crew. I'm out.